Ask a bartender or a hairdresser. People in these and other similar positions are treated as a priest or a lawyer, a confidant that can be trusted with personal information. Working in my 20s as a bartender, I was often privy to girls-only conversations. A pattern I picked up on was that it's common for women to have a man in her life, past or present, that absolutely rocked her world in bed, but otherwise left her cold. He wouldn't be too bright, had a dead-end job, didn't share her values or beliefs, but he was just exceptional in bed. So she'd keep him around, but never take him seriously. See, men think they're the only ones that do this, but yes, some women do this as well. One woman, maybe once a month, would tell the same mildly funny story about a guy from her past, always forgetting she had told the story before. About the fifth or sixth time I heard it, of course I knew the story already, I asked her if she had anything in common with this guy. Shared values, beliefs, anything? They had absolutely nothing in common, and her funny story was about how dumb he was. So I ticked off the list. He's dumb, opposite values and beliefs, and he broke up with her. I paused for a second and said, "That's some good dick." Her eyes got as big as saucers, and she froze. She didn't have to stop and think about the answer. It was at the forefront of her mind. She quietly admitted that was the case and changed the subject. Now, what stood out about this woman is that she was alpha widowed by another man, not the dumb guy with the big D. So me, I'm always observing and trying to learn, so of course I'm fascinated that one guy alpha widowed her, but when her mind wandered to more general sexual thoughts, she thought of the dumb guy. The difference was the guy who alpha widowed her had significant status, real high status, and they never dated and never were going to be an official item. So he had status and he was available for the short term, but was unobtainable for the long term. So high status, good personality, and good sex trumps great sex and nothing else to offer, but just barely. How could I tell she was alpha widowed by the status guy and not the big D guy? She still closely followed the status guy's life on social media. When she'd talk about him, it was in that dreamy, starry-eyed kind of talk. And she had reflexively said a couple of times how he was one of the most important men in her life, even though she hadn't seen him in a couple of years and only knew him for a few months. The dumb guy was actually still available. She didn't closely follow his life on social media, and she had ran into him a few times but made no effort to reconnect. Moral of the story, avoid promiscuous women in general, of course. But promiscuous or not, when you repeatedly hear about the same one or two guys, positive or negative, just leave her to the ghost of her past.